doubt. My team ballin', you look like you need a timeout. I'm a star in the clutch, I'ma shine out. Working hard, yeah, I'm back on my grind now. Game on, took a loss, but I stay strong. Super Bowl rings.
All right, Coach, it is a cold night in western Pennsylvania as we bring you inside Heinz Field here in Pittsburgh. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Set, 190. Ricky.
A first down throw here for Rivers. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there, 26 yards. A nice little completion there by Phillip Rivers. And you and I were reading the article yesterday, 5th grade. Rivers had to do a project where he had to make a poster about his dreams and aspirations. So he clipped out a football player from a magazine article and pasted his face on the helmet. That's what he wanted to be, and it turned out okay. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. In for the score as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one, a little bit of a jab, the second one was the payoff. That was the big one that landed. 1-2, end zone.
Footing always a concern, but the extra point's up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
At their own 21-yard line.
Set, 19.
On first down, Watson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the Tucker rule that they can fall back on anymore.
From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson. This one grabbed by A.J. Green. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
And a Bengal first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. Airing one out for Boyd. Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on his first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Watson. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, third down. Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Looking for his tight end, Eifert, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Unfortunately for him, if last week was any indication, we knew a pick was coming at some point. Last week it was interception after interception, and here we go again.
We actually quit counting last week at a certain point because I thought I was going to run out of fingers, right? Because I'm not all that skilled as a mathematician. But you're right. It felt like a matter of time, and you got to think the guys on defense, they couldn't wait for this opportunity after what they saw on tape. How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
On second down, Rivers again. And he connects with Vance McDonald. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Only a pickup of 2, but that's all they needed for the first.
And that's why you spend a first-round draft pick on a running back. Not for just the fancy runs, but these dirty, gritty 3rd and 1s, 3rd and 2s. That's why you draft him.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try the left side. McFarland. Defensively, Sam Hubbard, the former Buckeye, there to stop it.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up on second down.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They go play action. Rivers. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. So 3rd down, they need to get to the 28 for a first. Working out of the gun, Rivers. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 18. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
The former 2nd-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
You can't block me. You can't block me.
Now it's Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. Cameron Hayward attacking off the edge that time.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Gonna need something special here on 3rd and long. After that sack, what does Watson have in his arsenal? From the gun, here's Watson. And that will be incomplete. The rookie from Michigan there defensively. That's Devin Bush making the play. We saw a lot of that a week ago defensively from him. AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Just always seems to be around the football.
I like your observation there. Understands the game, understands positioning, can put himself in the right spot, and then make a play on the football.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a first down on a punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
Step 180! Hey, bro, 80! You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing. Wait, 89!
On play action, Rivers. He's going to look deep down the field. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Rivers incomplete on 1st down. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll run with the NC State man. It's Jalen Samuels.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent game.
It's a gain of 6. Makes it 3rd.
Step 180! Step 180! Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back home.
Rivers from the gun on 3rd down. And yes, complete to the tight end McDonald. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. They're indeed going for it. It's Rivers. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And the Bengals are going to get it back in terrific field position. After the penalty, it's Mixon. Mixon hit, and the ball is out. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. Partner, on my spot sheets, I highlighted turnover margin because we remember they turned it over 4 times last week. So another one here in the first quarter. This isn't the way they want to go.
No, not even close, and it's not something they even imagine because the amount of time that we know that they spend in practice talking about what they need to get done, working on it, showing them how to take care of the football, and emphasizing what it means in terms of winning, they got to just be puzzled right now that they're not taking care of the ball better.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. This is Johnson. He's got it. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. 1st down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to it.
Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. picked off by Mike Hilton. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Thanks to that last play, a little more room to operate. 1st and 10 at the 18. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 5 now. Rivers. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Now Joe Mixon. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Watson. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Now the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 14. Off of play action, it's Watson. He'll let this go for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Vernon Hargreaves with a pick.
Partner's bad enough when you just can't hold on to the football. But when your quarterback's throwing it to the other team, that's 3 interceptions now, 4 turnovers for the game. You really have no chance to win the football game.
Following the interception here, Rivers. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. Kamale Correa came in there hard on the blitz and got him down 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Play downfield. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. It's a big play there for the Steelers. 53 yards. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there.
180.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rivers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Steelers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Play fake. Rivers. Looking deep downfield. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Boswell good with the extra point. And it's now 14-0. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Bengals take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Here's Watson. And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 23 yards on the play.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Here's Watson. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Tyler Boyd, the former Pitt Panther, was the target. And now it's 2nd down. Well, the passing game right now for them, not overly impressive. Last week he hit on right at 50%. This week he's under 50%.
And it's not just on him. Protection, a few breakdowns along the way. That's made him get off the spot. Receivers not getting their way open downfield. The coverage has been awfully tight.
And this is caught inside the 5. 2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Set. 19.
Now Watson from the gun, he'll throw toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
This defense is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
Dustin Hopkins on for the field goal, a 26-yard attempt.
And Hopkins' kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So they do get to 3 points before they hit halftime. Something to build on, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead and raise the banner, right? Wave the flag. That's good. Got points. And now, as you said, they've got something to build on as they get ready for the second half.
Dustin Hopkins set to kick off.
Following the made field goal for 3, Hopkins now to kick it off. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20.
18-yard line.
Right.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him, because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Rivers incomplete on first down. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Rivers. He's going to air one out. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 29. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Now Watson. Forced out to his, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Bud Dupree just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17.
They're not ready for this. They still playing soft. Y'all playing wrong.
Watson off play action. And that will be incomplete with the clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. On 4th down, here's Matt Bosher on to punt. Pulled in at the 24. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
and I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive, and we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw, Watson. They'll set up the screen here to mix him. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
This is it. You ain't team. Like 50. Let's go, baby. They turn over. Let's get that ball. Let's get that ball.
On 1st and 10, Watson. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he's in for 6 and a Steeler touchdown. This D wanting to put it away before we even get to the 4th quarter, widening that margin a bit further.
And while they won't just empty the bench just yet, if you're a backup, start loosening up. I think you'll get a chance to play before this one is over now with that type of a cushion.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead is up to 18 now.
Chris Boswell, the kickoff for Pittsburgh.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. So we got to step it up.
They'll try to get the run game going. This is Mixon. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Show it up. Show it up. Check 9. Check 9.
Watson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Watson now to throw. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down.
That is
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Matt Bosher now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. This is taken at the 23. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. William Jackson with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Gonna be a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Gonna give this time to the tailback. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
Play action now. Rivers. And he's got his man, the tight end, McDonald. And he'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one good for 26 and a 1st down.
1st and 10 at the
19-yard line. Rivers now just 7 of 16 passing thus far, but he's got a 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Watch the pass.
Off the play fake here, Rivers. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver. But now it's 3rd down. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. On 3rd down, McFarland. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football, caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on 2nd and goal. They run the counter. McFarland, and he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Steelers, they broaden their lead. Boswell good with the extra point, and that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Again, it's Mixon. 8 yards on the run there, and that leaves them with 3rd and just a couple.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape, and that is not going to get it done. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down. There we go on 4th. Watson. And it is incomplete. The Bengals try it, but it doesn't work out. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position. On 1st down, McFarland, bottled up, fumble, it's out, it's loose, and the Bengals grab it, and the return stops at the 39-yard line.
All these years we've been watching the game, I start to get the sense that whenever it rains out, those guys who have to touch the ball and carry it, they're extremely resentful about that weather.
Yeah, I'm just happy I'm not resentful that we have a roof over our heads. I know that much.
Yeah, maybe we won't fumble our play sheets here as we just saw the fumble happen on the field.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
On 2nd and 10. Watson, that's incomplete. Nearly another pick. My goodness.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game films from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind them.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He's going to fire one deep over. And my goodness, another interception. It's the former Patriot Devin McCourty. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line. They were looking for Johnson that time.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he loses the football a second time. And the Bengals grab it. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find a good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
Watch the safety, Chris.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. T.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury.
Check four. 66, bullet, time.
3rd and long, it's Watson. And now here is another interception. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at the 30.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Check the out.
And to give this time to the tailback. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. They run the counter. McFarland, and he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
It's 4th down.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, this will be a 52-yard attempt. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here. Accelerating, and off he goes. Past the 20. 10. Touchdown, Bengals. We talk about it a lot. One of the dangers of the long field goal, you got to kind of hit it low and drive it. That makes it susceptible to a block here. Not only do they block it, they return it.
And how about how well they did on the return where they didn't create a penalty? Oftentimes in that type of a scrambling situation, someone will clip, someone will block below the waist, right? You name it. In this case, though, that didn't happen. They formed it up, and he took it all the way back for a touchdown.
Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 40. Now it's a bootleg with Rivers. He's going to air one out. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against him.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Rivers. Flushed out right. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't. The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw it.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Darquez Dennard. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now, that's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost that they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production, but how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
They'll stay on the ground, mixing again. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
On 3rd down, Mixon. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Looking for Boyd, and he's got him. Touchdown, Bengals.
Touchdown,
Tyler Boyd. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer. Whoa! He just yanked that one well to the left and no good. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show.
And now here is another interception. William Jackson with a pick. And he will score. Touchdown, Cincinnati. Well, don't change that channel just yet. This one may have gotten a bit more interesting.
Put down the remote, put down the clicker. This one looked like it was over. It looked like they were ready to seal the deal. But in doing so, by pitching it around a little bit, it cost them. We could have a great finish.
And here come the whistles and a timeout with 7 seconds left. On is Hopkins now for the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down now to a touchdown.
Next to score, Steelers 30, Bengals 23. Justin Hopkins set to kick off.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. It's still 2 timeouts defensively, but even if they choose to use those, 3 kneel downs should nowhere to escape, and he goes down. But Charles, we saw a comeback bid fall just a little short, but give them credit, they were able to hold on, withstand that comeback, and ultimately win it by the slim margin.
And bottom line, when it's all said and done, they don't ask you how much you won by. They just want to know, did you win? And that they did.
So for Pittsburgh, they'll finish the first half of the schedule dead even at 4-4. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, changes could be in the air as they fall to 0-8 now on the year. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Say this one for your photo reel. Blessing after testing, I'ma show him skills. You ain't gotta tell me, I know I'm ill. Stories treacherous, I effortlessly show him skills. Yeah, how about it? How about it? You want it, you have it, you got it. Go snatch it, skirt the lot. Go ahead, jump it, how about it? How about it? Rep for your bro, for your poster, pop it, your